Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Danielle Daily Show. I am Danielle Watson. Today's topic is how to stay focused when boredom sets in. You know, it's that time of year when we've all recently set a whole slew of intentions for who we want to be and how we want to act and the kinds of things that we want to accomplish this year. Ooh, 2017, so exciting, and all this energy around that. And then at some point in this week or next week, for a lot of us, that momentum starts to wane. So I wanted to talk today about how you keep that momentum going. You know, I know for me with my recently released book, I had to write a note to self for 365 days in a row. And that was no easy feat, because there were certainly days when I didn't feel like doing it, but I did it anyways because I had an end in mind that I wanted to reach. And so I kept finding ways to make it fun and interesting for myself. So let me know what you're focusing on, what your goals are, what it is you're trying to maintain the momentum on. I just saw some thumbs up go across the screen. I couldn't see who that was. So if you're here, go ahead and say hi in the chat. That lets me know that you're here. I really appreciate you guys joining me here live. The show is so much more fun with your input. I've said it a million times. What you guys contribute to the show through your comments is so much more valuable than anything I have to say. I just bring this teeny tiny little perspective, my little Danielle world, my little Danielle point of view on it. And you guys bring this amazing broader perspective, and then we get to share ideas and you guys get to interact with each other. And it just makes me so happy, the sorts of ideas and wisdom and insight that come out of this community. So thank you so much for your contribution. It looks like Julio's here. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you. So today we are talking about, keeping things going when you start to feel bored. I know that this time of year we are all hot on the trail of goals. We imagine ourselves kind of sliding into 2018 and having accomplished all those things, but keeping that momentum rolling between, hey, I have this new set of goals and things I want to do, to sliding into 2018 with those things accomplished, there's this big space in between where we have to keep our focus, where we have to keep practicing what it is we need to do to reach our goals. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to do that. Stuff gets boring pretty quickly. I don't know about you, but I get bored so easily, and I constantly need to be finding new ways to engage my mind, new ways to keep myself interested in moving forward, and not just constantly sort of moving one step in different directions. Do you guys ever experience that, where you're like, oh, here's a shiny object over here, oh, squirrel, oh, something else, because you're bored and you want to reach your goal, but staying on task, staying focused on moving in that direction, it feels boring. And so that's why those little shiny objects and squirrels and things, my friend Sarah likes to call it, oh, look, squid, when you get distracted and just start doing other things because you're bored with what it is you need to do to reach your goal. So like I said, when I wrote my book, Dear Self, I Love You, I had to write every single day, and it wasn't always easy for a lot of reasons. Sometimes it was because I just was too emotional, or I felt like it was such a crummy day I couldn't even think of anything positive to say to myself. But a lot of the times it was just because I just wasn't inspired. I didn't want to keep at the task of doing it. And I did it anyways, and I'm so glad I did, because now I have this amazing, inspiring book out there for you guys, and the feedback that's coming in is awesome, and it fills my heart to know that staying focused and continuing to practice that and write to myself every day is helping people, and it's reaching people all over the world. Somebody in the UK bought it. I'm excited to see somebody in Australia hopefully buy it soon. I know that I have friends there who were excited to see the book released. So all right, let's talk a little bit about staying focused and practicing moving towards what we want to do, keeping ourselves away from boredom. I will have today's note to self for you, and it will be on this topic. I hope that you have a pen so that you can write it down. I am trying to keep these shows a little bit more brief than they were in the first season. Yesterday was a little extended because it was our first day back, and I missed you guys so much, and I wish I could just reach out and give you all hugs and say, hey, I'm so happy to see you again. It's really great to be back here doing the show each and every weekday. I'll be here at 3 o'clock Eastern each and every weekday. You can find me here, and as always, you will find something positive, you will find something inspiring, or you'll find something powerful. You know, sometimes you need a little tough love, and you might be getting that here. So I hope that you'll tune in, and I hope that you'll join me. So today's topic, you know, is continuing to practice when we start to feel bored. The number one thing that I do when I start to feel bored is I find some way to make a change. So let's just take a scenario where you're trying to eat healthier, and eating healthy seems really boring. I know a lot of people have that as a goal or an intention that they're working on this time of year, you know, kind of getting off the sugar train and getting on to eating healthier. Well, eating healthy can be boring. We can get into a rut. So one of the things you might do would be, you know, to try a new food. That's something super simple that you can do that doesn't take a lot of time. You can try eating in a new area in your home. I don't know about you, but I eat in all the different rooms of my home, just depending on what it is I'm working on that day. You could try using a different kind of fork or knife or spoon, something that's pretty, maybe something that doesn't match the rest of your set, or maybe a different kind of plate or cup or bowl. Trying something new that tastes different, something that feels different by moving yourself around the house, something that looks different by maybe arranging it on a different sort of plate or arranging your food in a different way. There's so many little tweaks that you can make that will keep you from feeling bored. So eating healthy is something that I know is on a lot of people's minds. Let me know what else, you know, you guys are working on. What other goals that you set for yourself that maybe you will find at some point you'll lose your momentum on, because, you know, it just kind of gets boring to be repeating the same thing over and over again. If you type something into the comments for me, I'll give you a suggestion on how you can make that more interesting so that you don't feel so bored. So we have people who are working on eating healthier. What are some other goals that people have this time of year? I know many of my friends are like me, and they have their own business, and they are working towards maybe revamping that business or getting new clients. I know I had a call earlier today with a client who just signed a new contract, and it was awesome because it was brand new contract, brand new year, brand new intentions, and there was just so much good energy about it and around it, and we were both so excited to get started. But I know in a couple of months, that, or even maybe a couple of weeks, depending on how much work there is for her to do, that's going to feel a little bit less exciting. Doesn't mean she'll regret the decision, but it's going to feel a little bit less exciting because you get into the flow of what it is that you have to do and actually moving the mountain that you set out to move. So if you're one of those people who has either just recently taken on a commitment to yourself, or maybe you're like me and you have your own business and you're trying to get new clients and get yourself out there more, those are big intentions. And sometimes it's boredom, sometimes it's overwhelm that keeps us from taking the steps we need to take to move forward. But a lot of times we just get bored with doing the same things over and over again, with posting, with creating things, with getting out there and speaking. So think about trying some new things. Think about trying a different social media platform. Think about changing your message a little bit. Think about talking to a different group of people. One of the most interesting things that I've done is that I've really aligned myself with people in the podcasting community. And I am not a podcaster. And before I had this show, I never even had my own show, but I love learning from them. I love learning how things in a different industry work, because it's easy for us to sort of pigeonhole ourselves into only learning things that have to do with our industry. But when you open up to learning things from a different point of view, from a set of people who are thinking about things in a different way, it can really give you interesting and fun ideas of how you could do things differently in your own circle. So those are my recommendations for keeping yourself moving forward when you start to feel bored. Interject something new, basically. Just try something from a new angle. I know this isn't new advice. This isn't rocket science. And that's one of the messages I am constantly trying to get across to you guys, is that you're all smart. We're all intelligent human beings. We all know what it is that we need to do. Trying something new when you get bored, that's pretty obvious. But the thing is, is, do we do it? We know what to do, but do we practice what it is we need to do? And that's what I'm here to remind you to do, is to just keep practicing. Julio says, I do have to try Snapchat. Oh my goodness. I wish you luck on that. You know, I was at a meetup one day and the person next to me was like, hey, are you on Snapchat? And I wasn't at the time, so I went ahead and downloaded it, and he kind of showed me how to use it. And then my friend Heather was really into Snapchat for a while, and she was trying to get me to Snapchat back and forth. And I got to tell you, Julio, I think Snapchat really made me feel my age. Like it really, I couldn't get into it. I could understand how to use it, but I couldn't love it the way that some people do. And it was one of those things that just made me feel like, oh my goodness, I am definitely not young and cool anymore. And I just had to accept that. But if you try Snapchat, let me know how you enjoy it. Let me know if it works for you. Julio says, LOL, we're old. Yes, we are. And you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. Honestly, I would not go back to be in my teens and 20s for the life of me. It was really not, it's not easy being young. It may be fun, but it's definitely not easy. It looks like Facebook just gave me a notification. That's not important. But yes, Snapchat is one of those things, I think, that for those of us who are over 30, it really makes us go, oh my goodness, I'm definitely not young anymore. So I'm going to give you guys today's note to self so that you can get on with your day. Please write it down. I would love to hear that you posted it somewhere in your house. And even if it isn't the message you need to hear today, there might be a day in the future when this note to self is the exact thing you need to hear to keep yourself moving forward. And I love to hear from you guys how you're using these, when they speak to you, how they helped you kind of, shift your brain around to thinking in a different way, what ideas they inspired. Just thank you so much for the feedback that you give me. It really fills my heart. It keeps me coming back here. It keeps me moving forward. It adds a new element to my day when I hear from you guys and how you're using these ideas. So here is today's note to self. Let me read it to you. It says, as always, dear self, simply changing one variable can make the familiar feel exciting again. And I think that's so true, that you don't have to revolutionize how you're doing something. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't have to completely 180 on what you're doing. Just make a little change, and that can make things feel exciting again. So let me read you the note to self one more time. Of course, I always sign mine Love Me, but you can sign yours Love Your Name, or you could sign it Love Danielle if you want me to be bossing you around with my notes all over your house. However you want to do it, however it works for you. So let me read it to you again. Dear self, simply changing one variable can make the familiar feel exciting again. And then I would sign it Love Me. So that feeling of excitement for me is something that keeps me practicing what I need to do and focusing in the direction I want to go. And I hope that the same holds true for you. That feeling of excitement, it inspires you and it gets you moving and it gets you doing the things you need to do. And it doesn't feel like a whole lot of work, because when something starts to feel like the long slog down the road, that's just no fun. And honestly, most of the time when it feels like that's what we're doing, the end result it's not satisfying. And I want you to end up at the end of your journey towards your goal, celebrating and saying, woo, I did it. Not, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that's over. That's just no fun. So Julio says, change one variable. Good idea. Awesome. Use it. Julio, let me know if you use Snapchat. If you guys are watching the replay, let me know if you use Snapchat, or if you're like me and Snapchat just makes you feel old. All right, well, that has been today's show, the Danielle Daily Show. I'm Danielle Watson. I love you guys so much. Please feel free to leave me your feedback. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to address. We're kind of working on a theme for a little while here about staying focused and practicing and continuing to move forward, because I know so many of us have goals that we're working on right now, and I want to make sure that it's as easy as possible for you to keep moving in the direction that you want to move and growing in the direction you want to grow. All right, I will see you again here tomorrow. Same time, same place, right by the fire. I love you guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Mwah.